Yes, and I am live in a kind of weird little outdoors but downstairs room in my new hostel. I'm in Chile, new country, arrived here this morning, so kind of sped through Bolivia really, even though I've got 2 full weeks of vlogs to catch up on what's been a really class couple of weeks, to be honest. Spent the last few days getting here across the unbelievably epic salt flats, but that's definitely a full vlog's worth of story for the next one. But what I wanted to do was pick up from my last vlog, which I recorded when I was in La Paz. I'd been hanging around there for a little bit because I've been waiting basically to do Death Road, which is super famous like downhill bike ride, a couple of hours away from La Paz. It's called Death Road because it used to be, the road that you cycle down used to be literally the world's most dangerous road. Many people died there every year. It's this kind of thin road that weaves its way all the way up through the mountains, really super thin, massive drop on one side of it. Some years ago they built another safer road to kind of bypass that, and now it's much more of a tourist thing. I don't think people die there that often anymore. Certainly hundreds of gringos like me go cycling down it every day. Let's get into it. It was amazing. It was so cool. I'm so glad that I waited a few days for it to clear up. Basically, you take a bus out an hour and a half or so away from La Paz, get right up to the top. Sort of, you start at about 4,600 meters, and you're just kind of milling around, getting ready to jump on your bikes. Once you get started, almost straight away, you're just greeted with these amazing views. I had the old little GoPro on the top of the helmet, so I've got loads of little footage. I'm not going to drop them all in, but like, just follow me on the journey. The first bit, you're just up in the mountains, the snow's there, and you just got this unbelievable view back down over the valley. It looks something like this. So following that journey around for like an hour or so, it was absolutely stunning. It was so beautiful, that first part of the journey. After an hour or so, you get back on the bus just for sort of 20 minutes or so and drop back down. That was only for about the next 30 minutes. There was like a bit of, we were in the cloud basically. By this point, you're probably about sort of 3,000 odd meters altitude, and then suddenly, so you kind of cycle through the cloud. But at a certain point, you just drop out because you're just going downhill all the time. It's pretty hard going as well. Like, it's like hanging onto the bike. It's like a full-on sort of suspension mountain bike. But then you pop out the bottom, and then for the rest of the journey, you've just got again these just ridiculously gorgeous views, just of this beautiful green valley. Keep following it all the way down, stopping every so often for snacks or maybe a bite to eat. and you get down to the bottom and you're at 1,200 metres, so you descend over 3,000 metres worth of altitude over the course of the day. And yeah, so hopefully some of the videos I've dropped in are going to do some justice to how cool that was. But basically an amazing way to spend a day, definitely worth hanging around in La Paz. The only negative side to that was that I got back and then I got like fucking awful food poisoning, possibly from the lunch that they gave us at the end of the bike ride, or maybe from something else, but that kind of was a horrible 8 hours, and then the next couple of days really just kind of recovering. But once I was fully over that, I haven't been ill very often on this trip, so no complaints really. I took the overnight bus, 12.5-hour bus from La Paz to Sucre, which is officially the capital of La Paz, even though actually it's got the kind of feel of a little town. It's really cool. It looks really nice in the centre. I only stayed there for a couple of days. I can't remember if I said this at the end of my last blog, but the main headline for me is that I booked a flight home less than 2 months ago. So even though I always knew I was going to go back at the end of September, I'm going to my mate's wedding in France at the start of October. Now I've actually paid and booked for this flight, I suddenly was like, oh shit, I better kind of like get a move on really. So I just did 2 nights in Sucre. The thing that I did there was class. So in Sucre is the world's largest, I was going to say collection, but it's not a collection, discovery area place of dinosaur footprints. It's like, wasn't really know what to expect, but you go along to this place called Cretaceous Park, and it's this huge, big, like massive flat cliff with these massive dinosaur footprints all over it. I was thinking like maybe a couple of dinosaur footprints in the mud, and you look at them. Nah, it's fucking massive, and you go all the way across them. They're legit like 68 million year old footprints. I took some videos. This is kind of what it looks like.
Sorry, but just think about these dinosaurs walking on the muddy ground 68 million years ago. Have you ever walked on the muddy ground? How are the footprints that you leave? Deep, right? Deep, wide. Imagine these big creatures walking on the muddy ground. They leave the footprints clearly and deep.
So basically, maybe a little bit geeky, but it was absolutely, it was really cool, a lot cooler than I thought it was going to be. And the place where the actual footprints are, it's just also got this brilliant view back down over the valley and over Sucre. So that was a really fun and interesting way, not octane in the way that the Death Road was, but like a really cool way to actually, I don't know, see some dino footprints. It was brilliant. So yeah, overall, another couple of amazing things squeezed into the last week. The next blog is going to cover my last 3 days making my way from uni in Bolivia to here, where I am now, San Pedro de Atacama in northern part of Chile. That is going to be an absolute classic one, but I'll leave that here. Only thing I guess I need to do is update on the Traveller's 10. Don't think I've done that for a little while. I've got a new one today, so I'm up to 90. I've got like 6 or 7 people who have all said over the last couple of weeks they're going to give me one, but I'm officially on to 90 now. In terms of stats, not like too many big moves and shakes at the top. Michael Jackson still leading the way with 10 songs ahead of Neil Young on 9. It was a big week for Coldplay. They got another song, which means they're one of the only, I think, sort of 8 or 9 artists now on 7 songs, but the key for them is that all 7 of theirs are different, which means they're the second highest in terms of different number of songs, only behind the Beatles, who've got 8, and all 8 of theirs are different. So fair play Beatles and Coldplay for having a good back catalogue that people like. But yeah, this ploughs on. I mean, it's possible I might do the 100 in the next week or two, which would be really, really good, and then I'll just kind of keep going from there. But as always, if you're watching this and you want to send me your list of the top favourite songs of all time, I'm collecting them. I'm gunning towards 100 lists, 1,000 songs. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. As always, speak to you soon, and yeah, bye.